For parents of kids of all ages, back to school season is the perfect time to take notice of your child's physical and mental health to help prepare them for a successful school year.
We're joined this morning with Dr. Preeti Parikh, who has some tips for the parents. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Start by telling us, how can parents help their kids stay ahead of stress?
Yes, stress is really important to talk to you about your children about, because the last 2 years and this upcoming school year, there's going to be lots of ups and downs. To make sure you talk to them about their feelings and what maybe like their stomach pains, or if they're having heart rate going really fast or they're breathing really fast, those could be signs of anxiety and stress. So talking to them to identify that, and then giving them tips of how to deal with it. So like taking a deep breath, closing their eyes, and just slowing things down. So it's really important to have those discussions before the school year.
Those are some good tips to remember the breathing. I think that's a big
School
one.
can be stressful for kids, of course.
Definitely. Dr. Parikh, will you talk a little bit about why it's important to consult with a pediatrician before your child starts school?
Your pediatrician can be your ally and an advocate. So instead of you being the one telling your child to eat well, sleep, cut out that screen time, use your pediatrician to help reinforce those healthy habits. And also, if your child has a learning disability or a medical condition, they can be an advocate for you to make sure that your school is well prepared and can help support your child during the school year.
That's definitely a great tip to remember before heading back to school. Now, what are some signs of learning difficulties parents should be on the lookout for? I know those signs are not always obvious.
Yeah, sometimes, a child can present with a learning disability later in life at any age, and it's really hard to pick up on. So if you see that your child is really disorganized, having a hard time at school to finish their tests, or they're studying really hard but their academic performance isn't really matching up, or the other extreme, they're acting out, they don't want to study. In school, they're really misbehaving and shouting out during class, then talk to the teacher and your pediatrician to get some testing, because maybe your child has a learning disability.
And then really quickly here, we talk about our screen time. That's a pretty normal thing. People have iPads, phones, computers. How can parents kind of monitor that for their kids and keep them good for school?
I mean, even as adults, we struggle with that. So a couple tips that I recommend are 3 times, especially during the day at home, that you can kind of cut out and create free screen time. So during meals, everyone in the family keep their electronics off the table and really try to engage and have those conversations. And second, when the child is studying or in their room or wherever they're studying, make sure their phones and electronics, which could be distracting, are away from them so they can have a screen-free time and just focus on their studies. And last, right an hour before bedtime, it's really great if you could cut out the screen time and let your body decompress, read a book, and really meditate. Do things that'll really help you decompress. Those are great times to cut out screens.
Thank you so much for all of these tips. We really appreciate it as school is about to start.